Hello, this is Jay Plent for StabbedPanda.com, and you should listen to this. A staple of the Cambridge scene, lovers of both Britpop-leaning indie and retro gaming rejoice. Here's a band for you, the British IBM. At first glance through their social media, you'd be forgiven for thinking that the IBM were a retro gaming and culture appreciation society rather than a rock band. But in the immortal words of Jake Peralta,
stuff can be two things. Open up your refrigerator, boom, air conditioner, life hacked.
And there are many things stuffed into the British IBM: ideas, charm, character, and of course, cracking songs. They're commanded by singer-songwriter and retro enthusiast Adi, alongside musical comrades David on bass and Paul on percussion. Described by Slate the Disco as a nimble mesh of indie rock and vintage computing, the British IBM operate on a wavelength entirely of their own. Their beige and gold artwork and penchant for Jetson-style animation creates a distinctly old-world vibe. Their self-titled debut album and its subsequent self-titled single gathered fans from its use in a trailer for 2014 documentary film From Bedrooms to Billions, which outlines the story of the British video games industry from 1979 to today. And they also had the song Nothing Ever Lasts That Long featured on the TV show Life Sentence starring Lucy Hale. If you want to hear one of the creative ways the band fused their passions together, check out Where Is Matthew Smith?, a song about the disappearance of a man behind the ZX Spectrum game Manic Miner, whom The Guardian described as the J.D. Salinger of programming.
With a pixel, perfect twin, TRS 80 crashed at the flick of a switch. Where was the taxman? When I told us that you'd gone, whatever happened? Oh, where is Matthew Smith?
Good news in case you were wondering, they found Matthew Smith. I mean, it wasn't the British IBM specifically that found him. I mean, he's been found, so don't worry, in case you were worried. Anyway, despite being a distinctly retro-leaning group, the British IBM continue to embrace new technology. In 2020, shortly after releasing their album Play the Game in February, they started up a weekly Twitch streaming show of acoustic antics, out of which was spawned the Semicolons record, a collection of acoustic noodlings and live takes from these internet jam sessions. One particularly good track from this collection is Friday Night at the Twitch Bar, which we recently featured in our monthly Sexy Singles in Your Area track rundown. In it, Adi laments our digital existence and how we've had to make substitutions and sacrifices over the course of 2020, exchanging a warm social reality for a cold computer forum where everyone knows your username. It's been hard for touring bands to embrace the changes brought about by the plague, but embrace these changes they have, and I guess you could say that the British IBM are a band who look to the past whilst moving with the times.
But then you were gone. Where did you go? Well, I guess nobody knows.
This track, taken from the fantastically titled Psychopath's Dream in Black and White LP, is a great woozy take reminiscent of Dig Out Your Soul era Oasis, personally my favourite Oasis album, don't at me. Paired with the aforementioned Jetson-style animation done by Ridertune, it drives home the kind of longing and nostalgia that the band describes so well. Plus it has some gorgeous ELO-style backing vocals. And like all the band's best tracks, it feels grandiose but grounded, ever poised to soar. Herein lie the very finest qualities of the British IBM. They have a heartfelt appreciation for emotional songwriting paired with a quirk and unique perspective rarely seen in unsigned bands. They're unlike any other group I've written about for this feature, and as a band I came across during my own very early days of writing and releasing music to the world, they remain a real breath of fresh air. By the time this is out, the band will be heading into the studio to begin work on their new album, so there's plenty to look forward to. You can grab all of the British IBM's music on Bandcamp and on streaming services too, and keep your eyes out at any retro tech festivals you find yourself at, because you may well find Eddie and the gang right along with you. Thank you for listening. You can find more of these features on our YouTube channel, and if you'd like to be featured in a future episode of Listen to This, email us at listentothis@stabbedpanda.com.